Hey, welcome back. It's so hot. We have another heat wave in the UK. It's August, and I filmed something last time for you, and I realized that because I filmed it with a new phone and the camera, something wasn't working with the microphone, and it sounds horrible. So I will show you maybe a few snippets of that. I'm back at in-laws again. Lots of airplanes. I'm working on my iPad today, and I need to tackle a page in my book that I'm working on. I'm getting it ready to send to. Last time I said an art director, but actually it's commissioning editor, I think. So it's a big opportunity. She wanted me to send more, and I'm working on the dummy so it can be ready to send out, and it needed some changes. So I think I'll just quickly summarize what I said last time that you never saw because of the crappy audio. So I just said that I got some feedback on this book. I'll show you a few snippets of that book. And I needed to make some changes. And back then, when I did it during university, that was a project. I didn't include that critique that I received during a critique group. First of all, I didn't agree with it at that point, and also I didn't have the time to finish it because I had to hand it in. Whereas now, 3 years on, pretty much 3 years on, I have time to work on it. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to work on this while also watching my baby sleep. I just put her down. Toddler's being watched by Bachan, grandma. And I'm working on this now. And it's quite a challenging scene. So I'm wanting to do my main character as a squirrel, and he should do a somersault. Not somersault, sorry, cartwheel. And that's hard because it's a complex sequence of motion. But yeah, we'll get into that now. I'm recording this now with the iPad, so we'll see how this goes. Well, this is the page I'm working on. The feedback was basically that the main character, who is called Bim, the squirrel, kind of started to disappear throughout the book. So basically the gist of the story is that there's a silent island and Bim is a little child, a toddler age squirrel in this quiet silent island. And he can't make any noise. He's always told to be quiet. And one day he finds something shiny on the beach. And then he discovers something new, and these are instruments. But obviously, because it's silent island, they don't know music, and he doesn't know what this is. And that's how he discovers it. And then no one is interested in it. And then there's a wise goat that actually remembers the time when there was music and teaches him how to play his trumpet that he finds. Thing is, at that point, and suddenly this wise goat takes over and then teaches all the other animals. And suddenly my main character kind of just vanishes into, I don't know, just kind of in the background. The critique group I went to, they said that's definitely a main point of that could be improved. And back then I didn't actually change this. But it's just good to get feedback. I don't think you always have to accept it, but I think it's good to be open to it. And now I do agree that this was definitely one of the points that could be improved. And to make that happen, I had to change the structure of the book, which is harder than you think because there's a limited amount of pages that a book can have. It can be multiplied, I think, by 4 every time because of the way a book is bound. And basically, to make this as short as possible, I had to reduce 2 full pages and merge it into one. And that's the challenging part I will show you now. So this here was a double page. And this here was also a double page. And now it's turned into 2 spots on 1 page. So that's was quite a challenge. Also to reintroduce that main character. That's actually what happened. So I'm making some changes right now. This is where he finds it. That's where the wise goat comes. I'm still needing to make some changes with the text. That's where they get curious. And here you see, suddenly the Bim, the main character, disappears. So the kind of scribbles here, they were only added later by me to reintroduce him. So I was trying to find a way to reintroduce this character. And here again, this is the second page the double page that I meant. I also tried to reintroduce him back down here, but it just seemed kind of strange to add him like this. It still wasn't really his agency. So he was kind of not really leading the action. And for a main character, that was a bit strange, especially for 2 full pages, he was completely gone. And that's why I decided to change these 2 pages, like I said before. So this one became this here, and this page turned into this one. And I decided to do this because I wanted to add one final page. And this was like a kind of emotional moment between the wise goat and Bim. And to add this, I had to basically reduce those 2 pages into one. So reduce the amount of pages that I already had. That was quite difficult. And now today we're working on this page where I'm trying to make this more interesting. So I've already made some changes, as you can see from what I just showed you. So this character has already been refined. And here I've already made some changes as well. I split up the text. This text has been split up. And I also got rid of this character here. So I'm trying to just delete this again. And I'll show you this again here. Okay, so back to Procreate. So here you can already see that I have changed. So here's the split up text. That's what we've done last time. That was to fill an kind of awkward gap. And also to get rid of this one main character at the top. It just didn't flow with the action. Here we have the flow of action goes like this. And this just feels more natural. When I go back to this document. So here he was kind of jumping excitedly. So you first look here because this is the largest point. But then he kind of, your eye goes down here. And then the action kind of goes this way. And it just felt like an unnecessary step to have this character here. So that's why I decided to eliminate him. I mean, it's the same person, but obviously this image wasn't really necessary to explain what I wanted to do and kind of just distracted. So that's why I deleted it. I made the sequence bigger. And now my main point is to refine these images. So this one here and the sequence of the cartwheel. So that's what we're going to do today. And I have to admit, I'm kind of dreading this because it's not so easy. Especially, I mean, if you have humans, you can have a reference. But with animals, especially them anthropomorphic characters, doing things that are not exactly natural for them. I mean, they do jump and roll and, you know, different things, but I've never seen one do a cartwheel. So I'll have to look at reference pictures for that as well. I looked already at some cartwheel images. Let me find them. I think this one. So I've already taken some reference for these like how a cartwheel is done by a human. And I think I'll just try to adapt it to my squirrel character now. But obviously, I might still have to look at some real squirrels. Anyway, I know you want to see some drawing, don't you? But this is the thing that actually makes picture books sometimes harder because, first of all, it's not these are made up scenes. You know, it's not a photo. You can basically do whatever you want in your imagination, but then turning it into characters that don't look completely awkward, like they have broken legs or something. That's the challenge then. But yeah, that's what we're doing now. What I've done here, so I've used a reference, and I don't know if you know how to do this, but I'll just show you quickly one more time. So basically you go to your settings, and then you go to canvas, so that's the second one, and then you can go to reference, and then this window here pops up, and then at first it shows you the canvas. So for example, if you work really zoomed in, you can actually see the whole picture, which is pretty handy. Or you can select an image from your camera roll or whatever reference where you saved it, And I just took a quick picture of one of the images that basically this is the double page I want to add, and that wasn't planned initially, and that's why I had to summarize and put these pages together on one page. And I think that's a very sweet moment, and I really want to bring that in. And I really love the face here, the side view of the face. I do think that in other pages I've actually drawn Bim's face a little bit differently, but I think I want to, if I would have to do this book, finalize the book, I would want him to look more like this. And that's why I'm kind of trying to look how he looks like. This is also a side view portrait, just so it kind of looks a bit more similar. I still think like it looks a little bit different. It's not so easy sometimes to be super consistent. This book was created in 2017, I think, initially, and obviously now these things have to be adapted and changed. So I think it looks a little bit weird, but I want to just get the message across, because again, if this commissioning editor says, okay, actually I don't really like the way you change these scenes, and we come to the conclusion that, you know, this is not necessary, I don't want to finalize it, put too much effort into every drawing. It should at least look what I want to convey, and it should look clean. The difference is also he looks much older here than he looks here. Yeah. And I added a bit of shading, which I forgot actually on the other drawing up there. This was just something I learned in the children's book course, picture book course by Make Art That Sells, which again is a course that I have reviewed on my YouTube channel. I would highly recommend you taking it if you ever plan on doing any picture books. It's a great course by Lila Rogers and Zoe Tucker. And that's where I learned you should place characters on the ground, or to mark the shadow basically where they're standing. Because, for example, if they're jumping, then you can show that they are jumping. Whereas, for example, let me show you, where's this image? So here, he's standing. But if I would put the shadow here, it would look more like he's leaping. So placing the shadow is very helpful for understanding the scene. And I'll just gently add it here. So actually, the more I look at it, this doesn't make so much sense, because these characters you can't see fully. But again, I think I will just make like a vignette type thing where they're just coming into the scene like this. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, again, this is just total work in progress at the moment. So I also don't like how thick the line weight is on this one compared to the others. Maybe I just have to change this and make it kind of lighter. What kind of color is this? This looks more like a dark gray. Good, let's do this. I want to take this brief moment to talk to you about my Skillshare class, which is about creating a double page spread for your picture book portfolio. Double page spreads are a really important part of your picture book portfolio. They can show so much variety, and I show you in this class how I start from a very simple idea and go all the way to a finished project. I will also give you a prompt game where you can actually start to develop your own story ideas within minutes. So if you need ideas or if you're stuck, that's perfect to start. And you can even start to share your own project there, and I can give you feedback. So I'd love to see your projects. This is perfect for people who want to break into the children's book market, or if you want to illustrate your own picture book idea. It's ideally for intermediate people who can already draw but who need guidance on how to develop the story in a double page spread. Yeah, I'd love to see your designs. Please post them there and say hello that you took the class. It really helps me to keep this channel alive, or to actually make more videos. And any support, even sharing it with someone else, is really precious. You can get free access to Skillshare for 1 month and take this class by using the link in the description below. Thank you so much, and back to the content. So we're at the point now where I'm quite happy with it. We have this motion here, and he does not look fully natural. His belly is quite floppy, and maybe we would change this a little bit after, but before I put too much effort and time into this, I think we'll just move on to the next pose. I also thought maybe we can chat a little bit while I'm doing this, because I think I need to distract myself from the heat. So we're back from this holiday in Austria to see my family. It was a month, and it was nice to see people, but it was so hot. Been kind of homebound most of the time, and also with the kids I didn't really want to travel too far. We went to Croatia, a 5-hour car journey, or more actually, with all the stops and everything. And on the way back it just felt like, not torture is a very strong word, but it felt very uncomfortable. So yeah, we decided maybe we don't do this anymore. I mean, it's been a long tradition in our family to do it, but yeah, what's the point in suffering in the heat? I don't know. Always make sure you're on the right layer when you draw. I have to tell myself. Okay, now this will be interesting. What kind of direction are we going to make the face look? I don't know if I can draw and talk at the same time. Interesting. But yeah, last time in my video where the audio was really horrible, I was mentioning that I found an agent that wanted to represent me, so they gave me an offer for worldwide representation. And I rejected the offer. And that's actually a different agency than when we last talked. This was an agency that reached out to me on LinkedIn. And I don't think I will name it. Not that there are any bad feelings or anything. And it might be a good fit for other people, but for me, due to the nature of my life, I mean, just my life now, I have 2 young children, 2 under 3 years old, and that was when I started discussing with them. Actually, I just gave birth. It was maybe the week after, but because obviously it was a very enticing offer, you know, to be repped, I sent my work in, and they liked it, and they gave me an offer. And I contacted some of their, I was very excited, of course, and I contacted some of the artists they were represented by. And at first I was like, yeah, this is great, and I want to move forward. And then I saw the contract, and then I read through it a little bit more, and I got some advice from the AOI, Association of Illustrators, I think it's called. And there were quite a few points that I felt like I would have had to change in the contract to make it fair and suitable for me. And then I did a bit more research and asked more people and dug a bit deeper what kind of projects actually are these artists getting, and what is the approximate fee for these book projects, and which countries and which publishers, and what's the kind of terms. And the more I dug into it, the more I realized that it's mostly countries in Asia and Southeast Asia, which is no problem. I actually quite like that aspect of it. However, basically almost all turnaround times for picture books were a month. And maybe if you asked for an extension, it was 1.5 months. And maybe for those of you who are not so familiar with picture book work, that is a very, very tight deadlines. And when I asked my Make Art That Sells picture book group from back then, and also in other forums, people were actually kind of shocked. And I I felt exactly that, but I wasn't quite sure, is it just me who thinks that is ridiculous and way too short for working like this? And basically the working conditions wouldn't have been great, and I think if hypothetically I would be still in my 20s, I would have just finished university and I would have gone the path straight through a creative university, you know, education, instead of doing what I did, study anthropology, finish that, then do a year abroad, then study graphic design, and then specialize in illustration, blah, blah, blah. Basically, if I wouldn't be in my 30s, maybe, and I wouldn't have children, maybe I would still do it for the experience, because if you have to work so fast, you really have to develop shortcuts. My baby just woke up, I have to go and get her. But in my life right now, and I just don't think that's good work-life balance. Oops, okay, I have to get her. And that's Mimi. Mila. Hey, sweetie. You've not met the new people on YouTube yet, have you? Yeah. It's too hot up here for her, I think. In the room she was, there's an air conditioning. I wonder if air conditioning will become more and more common in the UK, with the weather starting to get over 30 so regularly and the houses not being so well insulated. Yeah. But yeah, we'll probably have to go down now. Oh, yeah, bring you to bed tonight, Granddad. Can you believe she's a quarter Japanese? Your daddy's half Japanese? I thought you would have darker hair. But yeah, she turned out really light. It's almost like a reddish, whoops, like a reddish color. Yeah, maybe that's the Irish in you, potentially. Anyway, so we've not come that far, but I've made progress and it feels less daunting. I think sometimes you just need to get started. Yes, yes, it's too hot up here. Yes, yes. Okay, mein Schnuggel. I think I'll end the studio vlog here. I might do a bit of more work, but it was a pleasure to talk to you again. Thank you for joining me. I know, baby, we're going now. I know, you just woke up. Okay, well then, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm sure it was very long, as it always is. But if you like these kind of videos, please subscribe and please like this video. It helps so much to continue this journey. It gives me motivation and it gives me encouragement, and it helps YouTube to tell other people about this video. Yeah. Okay, well then, bye bye, baby. Say bye bye. Bye bye. See you next time. Bye bye.